Do we have a calendar?
You speaking to me, Mr. Cook?
I was just wondering for I hadn't seen a calendar come up on my email.
Yeah, the calendar was sent out. You need me to send it over to you?
If you could, I appreciate that.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm doing that now.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Check your email. I just sent it to you.
Okay.
Oops.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Lal, and we're going to begin with our expedited accusation calendar. These are a list of misdemeanor criminal cases involving individuals who were recently arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail. Soon after being brought to the jail, the cases have been formally accused. So this would be the defendant's initial appearance before a judicial officer. When I call your case, I will let you know what is your new accusation number, what are the charges brought against you, who is going to be your attorney if one needs to be appointed, and also to set a bond. Please remember that if you are a defendant charged with one or more misdemeanor offenses, you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say in open court about the facts of your case, your statements can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. All right, courtroom 2, who do we have first?
Good afternoon, Judge Law. This is Officer Norris. We're going to go with position number 12, Mr. Bobby Warren.
This is Mr. Bobby Warren, who's got a accusation under 24 CR 3768B, accused of theft by shoplifting from June 12th, 2024. Mr. Howard, good afternoon. And any priors?
I'm gonna defer to the state.
All right.
My history look incomplete.
All right. Ms. Mokeke, if you'd like to enlighten us on his GCIC if he has one.
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. This was not originally my case, so I do not have the notes on that.
Okay. Who has the case?
Give me 1 second. I am doing the case, but it was originally not my case, so I do not have the notes on that. But give me one moment. I'm pulling up his GCIC right now. It looks like he has 88 arrest cycles. His last arrest, it looks like he has a probation violation from 2022.
You've also got a charge for possession and use of drug-related object and giving false. Have you all NOD'd those charges?
Yes, I believe Mr. Walker's NOD'd that charge.
All right, thank you. And
So
what's the state's recommendation?
The state's recommendation in this instant case where the defendant stole 2 steaks and some shrimp from Kroger is a $500 surety bond, stay away from the incident location, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Okay. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 67 years old and he has been homeless lately. It's been a while, actually. Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial. Actually, jail is the most preferred way. He has no bonds to pay for any bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Does he have a residence?
No, he has been homeless.
All right. Bond's going to be set at $2,000. It's going to be a signature bond through the jail to stay away from all Kroger stores. Mr. Warren, you can sign up for your bond today, but if you return to any of the Kroger stores, you'll be back in jail for trespass. And that $2,000 signature bond through the jail will be revoked. So if you plan to come back to the jail, please bring $2,000 with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And make sure that you come back to court. You'll need to give us a good email or address very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 5, Ms. Deanna Fulton.
Ms. Fulton has got a accusation 24 CR 3763G, accused of battery family violence from June 13th, 2024. Ms. Fulton, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Cook.
6 total. 2021 simple battery DV, 2020 probation, 2011 robbery first offender.
Was the DB from the simple battery?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mokeke?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the defendant and the victim were having a verbal dispute when the defendant began hitting the victim, Andre Bowman. The victim sustained scratches as well as an abrasion as a result of the attack. Upon arriving at the scene, officers did see the defendant holding a metal pole, which the victim stated she had attempted to use to strike his vehicle. The victim was able to stop her from striking the vehicle with the pole, but at that time, the defendant did bite his hand. Our office has had a chance to speak with the victim, who did confirm that him and the defendant are in a relationship and they currently do not live together. The victim stated the incident location is both of their residences, but the defendant has not been living there for the past month. The victim did confirm the events in the warrant and stated this has never happened before. He is not in fear of the defendant and is okay with having contact. He did state that after this incident, the landlord stated that the defendant is not allowed to return to that location. The state is asking for a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Andre Bowman, to allow some time for them to cool off, to stay away from the incident location, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And at this time, I would ask the court to sound for the victim, Mr. Andre Bowman.
Mr. Bowman, if you would like to say anything, this is the time to unmute.
Hi, how you doing?
Fine, thank you. Will you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So is this location under a lease?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you both on the lease?
Yes, ma'am.
And the landlord's indicated that he doesn't want Miss Fulton back?
Yes, he said that he doesn't want the incident to occur again on the property,
Okay.
which I told him that it won't happen again. It was
Well, that's neither here nor there. What's more interesting is, how do you feel about Miss Fulton having contact with you?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Miss Fulton, I'm sorry, Mr. Cook, any objection to a signature bond?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Fulton, your bond is going to be set at $2,500. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. While you're out on bond, you are to comply with the following conditions. First one is no further violent contact with Mr. Andre Bowman, which means that you can have contact with him as long as there's no physical and verbal altercations that might get the police involved again. You are to stay away from 880 Rock Street in Northwest Atlanta. You can return one time only with a police officer to retrieve your belongings, but after that, you'll need to find alternative housing. You will need to update the court with your new address within 30 days of being released. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And within 30 days of being released, you are to enroll in a domestic violence intervention program. And that's a 24-week program, is a condition of your bond. And you're to attend those classes. And after you've completed them, you're to submit a certificate to the pretrial officer. Make sure you show proof of your enrollment in a domestic violence program by your second visit with pretrial. You're to report to pretrial every month until further order of the court. Thank you.
Your Honor, what was that bond amount and the level?
2,500 signature bond for pretrial level 1.
Thank
Stay
you.
away from the incident location and no violent contact with victim.
Thank you.
Mr. Bowman, please understand that you can live there, but she cannot live there until further order of the court. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Next case, please.
It's gonna be position number 7, Ms. Howard.
This is State versus Shanquilla Howard, 24 CR 3765E. Ms. Howard's got an incident from June 13th, 2024, charged with simple battery. Ms. Howard, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Atay. Any priors, Ms.
74 total, 2023 possession of drug-related objects. On probation for ag assault out of Superior Court. It's 22 SC 185-446. 2022 simple assault conviction, 2022 disorderly conduct dismissed. And 2019 simple battery against law enforcement.
Thank you. Ms. Mulcahy?
Yes, Your Honor. So the defendant is accused of spitting on the victim, Iman Sadiq, after he told her to leave the property. Our office did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Sadiq, who stated that the defendant is a repeat offender at the location. The defendant has threatened him in the past. He's called the police numerous times on the defendant, but she always leaves before they arrive. He did state that he does not want contact with her and he wants her to stay away from the property. So the state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right. Ms. Atay?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 34 years old. She is homeless. She is the mother of 3 minor children who live with her sister at that location. She has a good mailing address at her sister's
I'm sorry, what location?
her sister's home.
Oh, at the sister's home.
That's a good
Okay.
mailing address for her, Your
Thank you.
Honor. And I have no objection to the signature bond through pretrial services and no further contact and a stay away from the incident location.
27.
All right. The bond's gonna be set at $2,000. It's a signature bond through pretrial services. And we'll need to update her with her mailing address. She's to stay 500 yards away from 1079 North Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. If she returns to that location, she will be arrested for trespass and she will need to bring $2,000 back with her. She's to have no further contact with Mr. Siddiqui. I'm trying to find out if he has a first name, but there isn't one.
It's Iman, I-M-A-N.
Mr. Iman Siddiqui. She's not to be seen anywhere near him and not to communicate with him in any way, form, or manner. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And Miss Howard, if you get arrested again for anything else, this signature bond will be revoked. So please be sure to stay away from the store known as Buddies. They are not your friend, and to have no contact with Mr. Siddiqui. Thank you.
What level is that, Your Honor?
Level 1.
How was she supposed to report to pretrial?
She's got an address with her sister.
How was she supposed to report to pretrial though?
I'm assuming in person. Or do you have a meeting the other way?
She got a way to get down there. She said she's homeless, so she got a way to
I
report.
thought she has an address with her sister, Miss Atay.
She has an address to receive mail. She states that she has the 3 children living with her sister, so she doesn't want to place an additional burden on her sister and live there as well. But she does receive mail there.
How is she going to
You can
report?
report
Is
it.
my question.
Mr. Howard, she's got an address. You'll send your notices to that address, but she's got a duty to come down and report to pretrial. Miss Atay, Mr. Howard's got a legitimate issue. If she's homeless and if she doesn't respond to pretrial and she's just setting herself up for a revocation.
Well, I wouldn't object to sending it through the jail.
Oh, understood. But she's 35 years old and 74 arrest cycles.
We're getting the same.
Do you have any other argument?
I believe that she can report in person to pretrial once a month.
I'm going to give her a chance. If she doesn't report, if she doesn't make the first report, Mr. Howard, you are authorized to request a pretrial warrant.
This per judge, it's okay.
Yes, it's per judge.
Hey.
And yes, I do know she has open cases as well. Ms. Howard, if you'd like to address the court, you would have to waive your right to remain silent. Go ahead.
So what address?
All right, so you don't have an address, do you?
I said,
They're gonna give you that information.
have my girls to my sister address, but we see each other, every week. Barely which, we see each other through this church called Grace, like every Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But I'm asking what address will I have to report to through pretrial?
Pretrial can give you that address so that you can report once a month.
Hang on, Mr. Tay, from what she's telling me, she doesn't even know what address she's supposed to get mail.
No, she's asking what address she should report to for pretrial.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay. You will be provided that at your orientation. And if you fail to report, please be sure that we will revoke your signature bond. Thank you.
They're gonna give you that information on the way out.
Next case, please.
It's gonna be position number 8, Ms. Tway.
This is State versus Thunder Tway, accused of theft by taking from April 26, 2024. Her accusation is 24 CR 3766F. Ms. Tway, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
2024 theft by taking, financial transaction card fraud. 2022 larceny conviction, 2022 damage to property conviction, 2021 larceny conviction. And I got she's homeless out of Baltimore, so see how this goes.
I think this is Miss Kim's case.
Yes,
Ms. Kim,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
thank you, ma'am.
Go ahead.
The defendant is accused of taking an Apple MacBook Pro belonging to Travis Dawkins from the Georgia State University Library. The defendant had previously been given a criminal trespass warning from Classroom South, which is a building that connects to the library. The defendant is seen on video with the computer in her hand. The state is recommending a signature bond, no further contact with the victim, Travis Dawkins, to stay away from the GSU library, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right, Ms.
Yes,
Kim.
Your Honor. My client is 30 years old, and Your Honor, we have no objection to the signature on bond. She has been here in US for about 30 years. She came here when she was 6 years old. She's a US citizen, and however, she's recently experiencing some homelessness, and yet she does have mailing address at actually with her sister, and also she's recommended for a social worker to have housing resources. And that's
And where is this sister? I only have a Baltimore address.
I only have a one phone number, Your Honor,
Okay,
and I can put it into the chat.
all right, thank you. Bond
Thank
is set at $1,000. It is a surety bond. Stay away from all GSU property. No illegal drugs, alcohol, and weapons. Next court date is June 27th.
You done.
The amount of that bond again, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
1,000 surety.
Thank you.
Come on, Tway. Come on, she was done.
Next case, please.
Next, we're just gonna go straight down the calendar, Your Honor.
All right,
It's gonna be-
Elijah Andrews then.
Yep. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews. Elijah Andrews is accused of battery family violence from a May 12th, 2023 incident. Mr. Andrews, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Kim. Or is it Mr. Cook?
This is
Keith
Mr.
Cook.
Cook.
Mr.
Keith
Cook?
Cook, yes.
Okay. Your accusation is 24 CR 3758C. And Mr. Howard, any priors?
The second arrest, he got a CWAC in his history.
All right.
Some of
How
the
long
charges
ago?
was dismissed, the other ones were not presented to grand jury.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Mokeki?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant and victim, Elaine Del Rosa, were arguing when the defendant threw water at her, grabbed her forcefully by her arms to prevent her from leaving, grabbed her phone and started choking her while lifting the phone to her face so that it could be unlocked by the facial recognition software. The victim did state that she felt like she was going to pass out due to not being able to breathe, but was able to get away and go to her neighbor's house. The victim sustained bruises and scratches as a result of the attack. Our office has spoken with the victim, who confirmed her and the defendant were in a relationship and they do not live together. She stated the incident location is her residence and she confirmed the events in the warrant. The victim stated this was the first time something like this has happened, and her and the defendant have been in contact since this incident, and there has been no violence since. She states she is not in fear of the defendant and still wants to continue contact.
Okay.
The state is recommending a $3,500 surety bond. Given the nature of the attack, we are recommending no further contact with the victim, 2-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And at this time, I would like the court to sound for the victim, Miss Elaine Del Rosa.
Miss Elaine De Rosa? Is it Del Rosa or just Rosa?
Maybe.
Della Rosa, okay. No? Okay. Oh, there she is. All right. Miss Della Rosa, if you'd like to contribute, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do, yes.
All right. And what would you like to tell the court?
I just want to say that the issues between Elijah and I have been resolved since that incident. We still don't live together, but
I'm sorry,
we
you
are
still live together?
No, we don't live together.
Okay.
No. Yeah. I'm in a different location from when the incident occurred a year ago, so
Are y'all still romantically linked?
yes.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, the alleged victim and my client do share a 4-year-old child. They do not live together, but they have been in constant contact now for what, 13 months since the incident. So we would be seeking a signature bond at whatever level the judge deems appropriate. No restriction on contact unless it's no further violent contact, and we would object to the any anger management or DVIP courses.
But if he's out on a signature bond and he's accused of domestic violence, I don't have any indication that he's sought any kind of counseling or therapy. Has he?
Not that I know of, Your Honor.
Okay. Bond is going to be set at 3,500. It's a signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. Mr. Andrews, you can sign up for your bond, but you are to have no further violent contact with Elaine Della Rosa. I want you to enroll in a domestic violence intervention program within 30 days of being released. So by your 3rd or 4th visit with pretrial, you must show proof that you are enrolled in a 24-week program and that you will submit a certificate of completion to your pretrial officer. This is not a condition of guilt of innocence, it's a condition of your bond. You are not to consume any illegal drugs, no alcohol, and you're not to own or possess any firearms. You may be subject to random screens, so please be sure to comply with the conditions of your bond. If you get arrested again for anything else, your signature bond could be revoked. Thank you.
May I ask one question?
Sure.
Do you have any recommendations for anger management or whatever?
Whatever, what do you mean?
Like the anger management thing. Do you have any recommendations or which I can go through, like from the court? Any recommendations?
It's not an anger management, it's a domestic violence intervention program. It is a 24-week program, and your pretrial officer can either guide you to a qualified school or you can Google qualified schools. Before you enroll, I would recommend that you check with your pretrial officer to make sure that it is a qualified program.
Thank you. Your Honor, what was that amount?
3,500 signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you.
Desmond Benton,
You got it. Go to the third row.
did I lose it?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Benton. Your case is 24 CR 003-759Y, in which you're accused of simple battery family violence. Your attorney is going to be Mr. Keith Cook, and you have been advised of your right to remain silent. Mr. Howard?
7,
Student
2022.
arrest cycles?
2022 false report of a crime. 2019 ag assault, should be on probation for that to October. Has a Clayton County probation hold. I think it's for the ag assault, because that was in Clayton. That's it.
Ms. Mokeke?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of grabbing the victim, Brittany Josie, by the neck and shoulders and shoving her against the wall, as well as grabbing and pulling on her hair. The parties were having a verbal dispute when the defendant attacked the victim. Our office has had a chance to speak with Ms. Josie, who confirmed that her and the defendant are in a relationship. They do live together and share 2 children, and she is currently pregnant with a 3rd child. She did confirm the events in the warrant, but did deny that the defendant choked her. She stated nothing like this has ever happened before. They have been living together since this incident and have been going through therapy to work on their relationship. She is not in fear of the defendant and wants to continue contact. The state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond, no further violent contact with Brittany Josie, 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And at this time, I would ask the court to sound for the victim, Brittany Josie.
All right. See Ms. Josie's on the Zoom. If you'd like to contribute, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
What
Yes.
would you like to tell me, Ms. Josie?
I just want to come on and
Please
say,
put your
like,
hand down. You can
oh,
proceed.
okay, I'm sorry. I just want to come on and say, like she said, it was basically the first time something like that happened. And since then, we have been to therapy and now looking for a church home and making it better for the girls.
Okay. What kind of therapy are you all going through?
It's like couples therapy, but it focuses on family as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Cook, anything else to add?
Well, again, this is a case where it occurred almost a year ago, 10 months ago, and they have been in contact continually since then. Apparently, with no other incident. They do not live together, but they do share children. So we would be asking for no further violent contact, a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. And I don't know about the location, but we would object to a stay away.
Bond is set at $2,000. It's a signature bond through pretrial services level 1. No further violent contact with Brittany Josie. Unfortunately, he's got a probation hold. So once he signs up for his bond, he can only be picked up by Clayton County. This is a felony hold, so he'll need to wait for Clayton County to come pick him up to address his probation matter. And once he is resolved with his probation hold, he's required to report to pretrial once a month, not consume any illegal drugs, no alcohol, and not possess and own any firearms or weapons. If he gets arrested again, or if he fails to report to pretrial or to court, his signature bond will be revoked.
Thank you.
Per judge.
Yes. Okay, Ilya Cody,
Your Honor, he wants to ask a question, Your Honor.
yes?
Even though my probation hold is for this charge, so when I get there, they just, I
I'm
don't,
sorry, I don't understand.
no, I was saying the probation warrant is because of this charge right here. So,
You've got a probation hold for this case?
yes, for this charge with me.
That would be incorrect.
No, it was like I was on probation for something,
Yes.
and they just picked it up.
Tell me you arrested,
Okay,
you violated that probation.
okay. No, I'm just trying to see if this still gonna be a violation, even though we're going through this right now, and she's saying it didn't. You know what I'm saying, with my probation?
I don't know why you have a probation hold. I've not seen that probation warrant in Clayton County. But if Clayton County finds out about this arrest, it's up to them whether they want to continue with your hold.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ilya Cody,
That's
Your
a-
Honor, Cody
that's-
is, oh, I apologize.
That's a waiver, Your Honor.
Alright.
That's Ms. McLeod's client.
all right, is Ms.
No,
McLeod?
that's Ms. Kim's client, I'm sorry.
All right, we'll address that later then. Antonio Fowler, this is State versus Antonio Fowler under accusation 24 CR 3762J, accused of simple battery, family violence, and reckless conduct. Mr. Fowler, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Cook. Ms. Josie, did you have any other questions to ask?
No, I'm leaving. My computer was glitching. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We'll help you be removed from Zoom. Thank you. Mr. Howard, any priors on Mr. Fowler?
8/2018 possession of marijuana. I didn't see any violent arrests.
All right. Ms. Mokeke?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant and victim, Ms. Sabrina Jackson, were having a verbal dispute when the defendant wrapped his hands around her throat and attempted to choke her and screamed that he would kill her. The defendant was on top of her for a few seconds before releasing her and going outside, where the parties continued to argue, and the defendant pointed his semi-automatic handgun in the air and discharged it one time in the party's populated residential neighborhood. The handgun was found by police on the porch under the grill, and a .38 shell casting was found 15 feet away from the front porch lying in the street. Given that the defendant did use a firearm in this case, the state is recommending a $10,000 surety bond on the reckless conduct charge for firing that firearm, a $2,000 surety bond on the simple battery, family violence, stay away from the incident location, no further contact with the victim, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And at this time, I would ask the court to sound for the victim, Ms. Sabrina Jackson.
Ms. Jackson, if you'd like to contribute, would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, what would you like to tell us?
So me and Antonio have been together for 13 years. This is the first time we've ever had an incident to where any type of violence has been done, or we've even encountered or had to call the police for domestic violence. And as far as the firearm, it's actually mine. It's registered to me. I purchased it. It's in my name.
Were you the one who discharged the firearm?
No.
Did you shoot the gun in the air?
No. But we do have 4
No, I
children.
just
We
want to
have 3
know whether
together.
that,
Right now,
even though
No,
that's
I said no.
a firearm, did you discharge the firearm on June 13th at 3:35 a.m.?
No.
All right. Anything else you'd like to tell me?
We do have, like I said, 3 children together. Our oldest is 10. And right now he is my sole provider for as far as my babysitter when I go to work. So I do need him home. I work Monday to Friday. And it's a bit of bond coming in.
Understood. Thank you.
We're married. We've been married for 6 years now.
Well, that's good. What did they say? Through the good times and the bad times. Miss Mokaki, did you have anything else to add?
That was it, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Cook, anything to add?
May I inquire of the witness briefly?
You may. Miss
Okay.
Jackson, please unmute.
Ms. Jackson, you've been married, or you've been together 12 years and married 6. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir. We got married in 2019,
And
and we got together in 2012.
okay, and you've lived at the Watley Street address together for many years?
No, so we did live together at 434 Atwood. We lived together there for about 6 years. Prior
Okay.
to that, me, him, and my parents lived together in a household as well in Riverdale.
Okay, okay. All right. And this, as you said, this is the only incident of this nature in the 12 years you've been together? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, Miss Jackson, good times and bad times. And this is one of the bad times where there's been very, very poor exercise of judgment. On the simple battery family violence, it's going to be $1,000. On the reckless conduct, it's going to be $5,000. That's a total of a $6,000 surety bond. No further contact with Sabrina Jackson. Stay away from the location at 5 Watley Street in Southeast Atlanta. I will allow for third-party transfer of the children between Miss Jackson and Mr. Fowler. But within 30 days of being released on your bond, Mr. Fowler, you're required to update the court with your new mailing address. You may return to the 5 Watley Street location one time only in order with a police officer to retrieve your belongings. You're not allowed to consume any alcohol, no illegal drugs, and you're not allowed to be in possession or own or have any firearms near you. While you are out on bond as well, please make sure that you have no further contact with Ms. Jackson. If you need to see the children, then there needs to be a third party who can pick up and drop off the children for visitation. I understand Ms. Jackson, she's left? Okay, then we can move on. Thank you. Next court date
No,
is.
I have not left. I'm right
Okay.
here. Hello?
Next court date is June 27th.
Judge, she's
Hello?
on the line. She's down at the bottom.
All right, Ms. Jackson, if you want to start your video.
I'm not sure if
All right, Ms. Jackson.
it is started.
Okay, I just need to caution you that if you initiate any contact with Mr. Fowler and there is any further involvement with the police, Mr. Fowler could end up in jail with no bond. So presently he is under a court order to stay away and have no contact. Thank you. Next case is position 6, Isaiah Grimes.
There was no prost, I believe.
That it was, you're absolutely right. Thank you. Then we are moving on to position 9, Brandon Ivy. Brandon Ivy. Mr. Ivy, your accusation number is 24 CR 3760J, in which you're accused of battery, family violence from June 11th, 2024. Mr. Ivy, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook, Ms. Atei. Any prize, Mr. Howard?
9th arrest, 2017, possession of drug paraphernalia. 2010, giving false name, trespass, nolo.
Thank you. Ms. McKay?
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred at 355 Hillcrest in Fairborn, Georgia. The police responded to the incident location and spoke with the victim, Ms. Ebony Marks, who stated that her and the defendant lived together for about 3 months and are in a relationship. They were having a verbal altercation that turned physical, and the defendant punched her in the face, resulting in a nosebleed. The state is recommending a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location unless it is determined that the victim doesn't live there, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And at this time, I would ask the court to sound for the victim, Ms. Ebony Marks.
Ms. Marks? Okay, thank you. Ms. Tate?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 35 years old. He has lived in Georgia all his life. All of his family lives here. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. From what I see, he has very little criminal history and is recommended for a signature bond at level 1. His last arrest was nonviolent, and it was 7 years ago in 2017. He is gainfully employed. And I have not been able to contact the complaining witness, but I would, and the incident location that I have is not the 355 Hillcrest. It states 8055 Sonoya Road. So I would ask for no violent contact with the complaining witness, a signature bond through pretrial services, and I would object to a stay away.
Is he being arrested on the Fairburn warrant, or does he have a separate Fairburn warrant? I've got a hit confirmation on Mr. Ivy. Pretrial, do you know, or Ms. Mukeki?
I don't know.
He doesn't tell me that he has any warrant in Fairburn. I just see that he was arrested on June 11th on this charge.
All right. And the warrant indicates that Ivy and Parks live together at Hillcrest Avenue. So do I have any information otherwise?
It looks like the incident location may have been 8055 Sonoya Road, based on the warrant, but yes, it does say they live together at 355 Hillcrest.
All right. Mr. Brandon Ivy, your bond is going to be set at 3,500. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. You are to report to pretrial services twice a month. You are to have no further contact with Ebony Parks. And if she still continues to reside at if she still continues to reside at 355 Hillcrest Avenue in Fayetteville, Georgia, you are to stay away from that location. So in other words, if she still lives there, it's a 3,500 signature bond through pretrial, level 2. Then you can only return to that location one time only with a police officer to retrieve your belongings. And then you need to update the court with an alternative mailing address within 30 days of being released. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. And please make sure to give us your new mailing address so that you can come back to court the next time. Thank you. Position 10, I have Mr. Lee,
That's
and
a,
that is
that's a
Sonny
waiver, Your Honor.
Lee Johnson.
That's a waiver, Your Honor. That's Mr.
All right, got it. Thank you. Then I have Juan Robinson. Okay. This estate versus Juan Robinson, accused of simple assault, family violence from June 12th, 2024. Mr. Robinson's case is 24 CR 3767D. You have been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
36, 2019 forgery, 2014 FTA, 2010 burglar conviction.
Ms. Mukeki?
Yes, Your Honor. Police reported to the incident location where the victim stated that her and the defendant were having a disagreement when he lunged at her. Our office has had an opportunity to speak with the victim, Ms. Tiffany Robinson, who stated that she wants no contact. The state is recommending a signature bond through pretrial, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Right. Do you know why this is a family violence matter?
Give me a brief moment, as this was also originally not mine. I will look into that. I think it looks like they may have lived together because it says the defendant was putting his personal belongings into a vehicle.
All right. All right, bond is going to be set at 2,000. It's a signature bond through pretrial services. To stay away from 515 North Central Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia, and have no further contact with Stacy Smith.
Your
No.
Honor, that, excuse me, that was not my case, and I just saw a note from Ms.
Oh, I'm so
Kent.
sorry, Mr. Cook. I was
No,
gonna
no,
correct
it's
you.
okay. But I also think it's a conflict. I don't know if that,
Yeah, I don't know. Y'all tell me. Was the
Okay.
victim arrested as well? This is the briefest warrant
Yes,
I've read in a
Mr.
while.
Robinson?
yes,
Yeah, Mr. Robinson's my client.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. In that case, Miss McLeod, you are representing Juan Robinson?
Yes, Your Honor, I
Oh,
am.
okay.
And I have the victim as Tiffany Robinson.
I have, okay, this who's, make sure I pulled up the right one. This is Sunny Lee, oh, sorry. Mr. Johnson, sorry about that. I've got,
His name is Robinson, Juan, Juan Robinson.
yes, I'm sorry. I had Sunny Johnson open, but then that was a
This
waiver.
is also a client of mine, Your Honor.
Oh, both are your clients? Okay.
That is correct, Your
Let's
Honor.
just go with Juan Robinson. I do apologize. I had the wrong window open. So on Mr. Robinson, I do see, in addition to this simple assault, did the state NOD the willful obstruction?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so in that case, Mr. Robinson, Juan Robinson, let me make sure. Yep, he's got a US Marshal hold. So, anything else to add, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on my reading of the warrant, I would ask for a signature bond for my client, Your Honor. It seems that they were just having an argument. There is no indication that he did anything to the alleged victim. They were just having an argument, and people in relationships do have arguments from time to time. Even what the police officer said, that my client was a bit loud, but that's not sufficient to support the charge against him related to the alleged victim, Your Honor. So I would ask for a signature bond, especially given the fact that he has a hold, because obviously he's not going to go anywhere if he has a U.S. Marshal hold. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. This
And
is
I do think Ms.
Yeah, go
Robinson
ahead.
is on the Zoom. I'm not sure if she wants to say anything, but I would ask if the court
Is
could
she,
sound for her.
is she, Tiffany Robinson, there she is, okay. Ms. Robinson, did you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. I
All
did
right,
want to.
raise your right hand. Other right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do y'all live together?
Yes, ma'am. I've been with Mr. Robinson for 9 years now. This
Okay,
is the first time Mr. Robinson has ever gotten angry to this extent. Usually Mr. Robinson, when he's angry like this, he's able to walk outside and calm himself down. I'm not sure what was going on with him this morning that caused him to act the way that he was acting, but he usually doesn't act that way.
all right.
And I did ask for a no contact restraining order, but I want to recant that. I just want a no violent contact. I still want to be in contact with Mr. Robinson.
All right, thank you. I'm going to amend this to a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Tiffany Robinson. And unfortunately, Mr. Robinson, you cannot be released even on this signature bond because you've got a federal hold. And it will be up to the US Marshals to come and pick you up to address that matter.
So Robinson, I see you want to speak. You're not going to talk about the facts of the case or anything that can incriminate you, are you?
No, ma'am.
I want to clear the record for the court. It's not a U.S. Marshal hold. I just got to contact my probation officer.
Oh, I'm just reading off the document, sir. If that's a different document, then you can resolve that. But right now, what I see is U.S. Marshal detainer.
Okay.
Yes, it is a probation violation, but it's a federal probation. That's why the U.S. Marshals are involved.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Miss or Miss McLeod, did you want me to reset this to June 27th in case he's still in custody because of the detainer?
Yes, Your Honor, I
All
will.
right. Let's further notice that for June 27th.
Yes.
All right. Okay, you had a waiver on Sunny Lee Johnson.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's a waiver for case 24 CR 3769A, accused of simple battery from June 6, 2024. And this is not a domestic violence, so I do apologize. I got the two cases documents confused. Mr. Howard, any priors?
2024 probation, 2022 battery, 2021 battery DV arrest, 2017 public peace conviction.
Thank you. Ms. Mokeke?
The defendant is accused of punching the victim, Stacy Smith, in the head after they were having a verbal disagreement. Our office has made contact with the victim, and she stated she is not in fear of the defendant and wants to continue contact. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services, no further violent contact, anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
All right. Ms. McLeod, any objection?
No objection at all, Your Honor.
$2,000 signature bond through pretrial services. I don't know if this has to be per judge. Level 2, he'll report to pretrial twice a month, given his recent criminal history record. No violent contact with Stacy Smith, no illegal drugs, alcohols, and firearms. Next case is
Yeah, that's per judge.
yes, sir. And then the one that we have on a waiver is Ilya Cody, position 3, 24 CR 3761C, accused of terroristic threats and acts and theft by taking from June 27, 2023. Who's representing Mr. Cody? Is that Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize.
No
I
problem.
tried to unmute as fast as I could.
All right, Ms. McLeod, did you have anything else?
No, Your Honor, that is all that I have today.
All right, thank you so much. You have a good weekend.
You too, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Howard, any priors on Mr. Cody?
Hey, got a conviction out of Douglas County for obstruction, possession and carrying a weapon without a license. Second subsequent offense within 5 years of previous arrest is what it says. Yeah, that's
Ms. McKay?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of taking the victim, Erica Cody's iPhone 13 and threatening to set her apartment on fire. The parties are married, but were not living together at the time of the incident. The state's recommendation is a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with Erica Cody, stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
When was the Douglas County conviction?
I don't know. I have to look it up.
Do you have it, Ms. McCracken?
I do not.
All right, Ms. Kim?
Yes, my client he has 26 children that he has to take care of, Your
I'm
Honor.
sorry, how many?
26. Yeah, that was exactly my response.
Okay.
Biological and also stepchildren, 2 of them together have 26 children. So this happened, Your Honor, June 27, 2023, almost a year ago. They are still living together. They are happy together. So I wanted to ask for no further violent contact, and I have been trying to ask Miss Erica to come and testify for us, I mean for my client, but I cannot reach her. Anyway, he is willing to comply with any order that you give him. He needs a signature on bond through pretrial. Other than that, Your Honor, we have no further. Thank you.
That was a 2013 arrest, convicted
Oh,
in 2014.
remote, very remote, Your Honor.
All right. On the terroristic threats, the bond is going to be set at 3,000. On the theft by taking is 1,000. The total bond is $4,000. Signature bond through pretrial services. He will report to pretrial once a week. This is a level 3. Given the allegations set forth in the warrant, as well as the nature of the alleged threat, he is required to stay away from 8601 Roberts Drive, the entire apartment complex, including Building 9 in Sandy Springs, Georgia. He's to have no further contact with Erica Cody. I do not know how to do a third-party transfer for 26 children, so I'm going to let that be his problem. But it's going to be a third-party transfer for any minors that are in that lot. But in the meantime, this appears to be a domestic violence according to the warrant. They are married. So I want him to go through a domestic violence program. So within 30 days of being released, he will enroll in a domestic violence program and attend those classes and provide proof of completion within after 24 weeks. So, or 24 weeks plus 30 days. He'll need to update the court with his current mailing address. The warrant indicates that he does not live at 8601 Roberts Drive. I do not know that, but we'll need his current mailing address. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and no firearms. 96.
Yes,
Well, you don't want me to keep him in jail? I might be doing him a favor.
This
No?
per judge, just so
20.
you know.
Yes, understood. Thank you.
Can he have a one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit to retrieve?
He doesn't live there, so he doesn't need to go there.
But
And Your Honor, it looks like
wherever she resides.
Judge, it looked like
She
Miss
lives-
Erica's on the line.
All right, Miss
Erica, right there.
Cody?
Hello.
Yeah, I can't see you, so you need to start your video.
Hello.
Are you driving?
Pretty much.
Remove her from Zoom. Remove her from Zoom.
Please do not drive.
Remove her from Zoom, please. Thank you. All right. Elijah Andrews is a 3,500 signature bond through pretrial, level 2. Position 2 is a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, level 1, with a release to the Clayton County Hold.
Hold up, Judge. Hold up, Judge. I didn't know you going over the counter. Hold up. Hold up.
Okay.
This is Katrina.
All right.
Too much. I got distracted with when that lady. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay, can we start all over, please?
All right. Position 1 is a 3,500 signature bond through pretrial, level 2. Position 2 is a 2,000 signature bond through pretrial, level 1, with a release to Clayton County Hold. Position 3, Ilya Cody is a, what was it, 3 + 1, $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 3, with a DVIP requirement, and to stay away from the location. No violent contact with the victim. No violent contact with
Oh,
Eric.
no violent contact?
No violent contact.
Okay.
But stay away from that location.
But stay away from, you got entire apartment complex
Yeah,
and third-party transfer of any minor children.
right. Oh, no, they can co-parent. I'm going to make it no violent contact.
Okay, so no third-party transfer?
No third party.
Okay.
I don't know how to do third party transfer for 26 kids. Do you, Ms. Lewis? Okay.
No.
Okay. Position 4, Fowler, is a $6,000 surety bond, reset date June 27th. Position 5 is a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial, level 1, with a DVIP requirement, new address required. Position 6 is null crossed. Position 7, Howard, is a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services. Position,
One per judge.
yeah. And position 8, Thunder Tway is $1,000 surety, reset date June 27. Position 9 is a 3,500 signature bond through pretrial level 2. I think I required him.
You
to-
got him report twice, no further contact with Ebony.
Marks.
Stay away from the 355 Hillcrest Avenue, update address when 30-day one-time return, to the, whatever, to the.
To the location. Okay.
Location, yeah.
All right, next one is Sonny Johnson's a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2.
Per judge.
Yeah. Position 11, Robinson's a $2,000 signature bond through the jail with a release to.
No, you said reset to SAP to June the 27th since he has
Yeah,
US
right.
Marshal hold.
One Robinson has got a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Reset date is June 27, pending his release to the US Marshal hold. Right, okay. And position 12, Bobby Warren is a $2,000 signature bond through the I can't remember. Was it pretrial? I think it was the jail.
You got, hold up, I tell
It's
you.
a jail.
It's the jail. And stay away from all Kroger stores. Yeah.
Katrina, you got number 2 and 3 as per judge?
Yeah, I got them for, you got per judge on, I think it's like 3 of them.
Hold on, it should be 2, 3.
Hold up. You got, I got 2, number 2 is supposed to be per judge too?
Yes.
Okay,
2, 3, 7, and 10.
2, 3, 7, and 10. Okay.
All right. Miss Lewis, does the Miss Erica Cody, did she come back into the?
Mr. Jordan had her in the waiting room. I don't know what happened. He put her in the waiting room. He didn't take her off the whole Zoom, but I think she left.
He logged out once I put it in the waiting room.
All right. Okay. Officer Norris, I think, did you have any questions? All right, folks, everyone, enjoy your weekend.
Okay,
Take care.
Judge, I'm
See
getting
y'all
these
next
things
week.
over to you. Don't leave me today.
I'm not, I promise. Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.